Georgia, please welcome State Representative Miriam Parrish, Audrey Bailey, and the next Second Lady of the United States, Mrs. Gwen Walz.
Macon, the Middle, Georgia. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Hello, hello. My name is Miriam Parrish, and I proudly represent Georgia's 142nd District. And I am a fierce advocate for women in the state of Georgia getting the care that they need. And I know that our special guest, First Lady of Minnesota, Gwen Walz, is too. Georgia has one of the highest rates of Black maternal mortality rates in the nation. Trump's abortion ban impacts our entire health system. 82 counties in our state have no OB/GYN. That's 82 counties where women do not have access to basic reproductive health care. That is incredible. That is a tremendous number. And I think that the Harris-Walz campaign will definitely do something to get that number straight for us. Georgians, we must stop this. And guess what? The road to the White House runs straight through Georgia.
Yes, it does.
Our chance to restore basic freedom and expand health care. Access for all Georgians depends on electing Vice President Harris and Governor Walz this year. And I know that you all are ready. I'm certain everybody in here has already early voted, right? Yeah! Early vote, that's the way to go. All right, Georgia's got something to say.
Yes.
And the best way to make your voice heard is in this historic election is to vote early and in person. You know, all kinds of problems can come up on election day. And that means you've only got 12 hours to get it solved. So the best thing for everyone to do is to make sure that they early vote and tell your family and friends to make sure they early vote as well. That is so key now. Georgia is kind of lagging from our 2020 numbers, and we have got to get those numbers up in order to win. Tomorrow is the last day of early voting, and let me be clear, early voting is the easiest way to cast your ballot. There's nobody there to tell you that you're in the wrong place. Either one of the 3 locations here in Macon will do. Remember, bring your photo ID to vote, and if you requested an absentee ballot and haven't received it yet, go vote tomorrow and in person. Together, we can lift our voices up to bring about the change we seek. We will not be silent. We will fight, and when women fight, we win. All right, so now I want to introduce to you all, to some of you, and present to others, Ms. Audrey Bailey. She is going to have the honor of introducing our the First Lady, and we thank you so much for being here, Ms. Bailey. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. Are we fired up?
Yes.
We ready to go?
Yes.
We ready to fight?
Yes.
When we fight, we
Win.
We ready to fight, we ready to win.
All right.
As we know, this is the most important election of our lifetime.
Yes.
As often as we've heard those words, they've never been truer than they are right now.
Amen.
We are fighting for our democracy.
Yes.
We are fighting for our freedom, our children and our grandchildren. There is so much at stake in this election. We don't have to mention number 45. We don't have to mention him. Because if we do our job and do it right, after next Tuesday, we will never hear his name or voice ever Georgia is one of the biggest battleground states. And you know, after losing the election in 2020, Number 45 called and asked for 11,782 votes.
All right.
Well, you know what? We're gonna have that 11,782 votes this time. We're gonna have them for ourselves.
That's
And
right.
we're here to stop us out today. Please allow me to introduce you to the First Lady of Minnesota, she's a mother of two, a literature teacher, and the coach's wife. And the next second lady is Gwen Walz.
Okay, so I just talked to someone in Minnesota and Wisconsin also. I was on doing a radio thing, and it started snowing there today. So there are lots of reasons to be in Georgia. That's right, and good afternoon, Macon, and happy Halloween. Right? Yes, and right, yeah, and thank you so much. For that introduction, LJ, and it's great to be with State Rep Miriam Paris. So thank you. Mary, do we call you?
Yes.
Yes, okay. And of course, to be with all of you. I'm so excited to be here. This is my first time here in this city, so thank you. You know, and you can feel this, Kamala and Tim have all of the momentum right now, right? They do, and it's because of all of you, folks like you. Last weekend alone, our campaign knocked on more than 1.5 million doors. Yes. Yep, and made nearly 15 million phone calls. Yes. And we are winning voters over one neighbor at a time, which is how we have to do it, right? Yes. And I know we can win, and I know we will win, because we have you. That's why we're going to win. So I'm here to say thank you. Thank you for doing all that you can do. And so I brought some of my great-grandmother's cookies. She didn't make it, she's gone, you know, but her recipe that we make, you may have heard, that I bring cookies everywhere I go. I brought like 20 dozen on the plane, so I had enough for Georgia. But I serve these in the Minnesota governor's residence to guests who come there. And then when we have dinners and things, before they go out into that cold Minnesota winter night, I serve them warm. So they have a warm cookie to take with them. And I thought, what can I bring to people that would really say thank you, or really be from our family to all of you? And so I brought you some cookies, and we put a little Walz Harris thing on the bottom here. Yep. And so there they are. And I hope they're good. I hope they're good. One Saturday we made like 1,500, and now it ran out, so we had to make them again. So you're on batch 2 here. It wasn't that many weeks ago when I was knocking on doors and making phone calls in my home state of Minnesota. And then Tim got a different call from the Vice President Harris. And I kid you not, one of my first thoughts was, oh my stars, I have to have someone cover all my call shifts, right? Yeah, but ever since that time, I've been traveling all over this country to great and beautiful states, meeting people like you, knocking on doors in northern Michigan, rallying folks in Raleigh, and assembling packets in Pennsylvania. So today, I am making some new friends right here in Macon. So I'm glad to be here. Yeah. Thank you. And every single place I go, people are just fed up with Donald Trump. Yep. But more than that, they are fired up for a new way forward. You know, for 9 long years, we have been suffering through the Trump show, sowing chaos and division among us, lying right to our faces, and always making everything about himself. And hasn't it just been exhausting? Yes. It is abundantly clear that Trump is not fighting for us. He's fighting for himself.
That's right.
And what he's offering with that Project 2025 agenda, no one is asking for it. No. Now, I know it's Halloween, but there's nothing more frightening than what they're planning for us in that Project 2025. Do we want tax cuts for the rich? No! How about tax hikes for the rest of us? No! What about gutting Social Security and health care? No! Well, as the Vice President said on Tuesday, we don't have to live like this. We can just turn the page on him. And we can turn the page to a new, forward-looking vision from Kamala and Tim. They've both spent their entire careers fighting for middle-class families, like the ones they grew up in. Their upbringing taught them the value of a hard day's work, how to balance a budget, and how to always lend a hand to a neighbor. Those are the values that they will bring to the White House. And they have real plans, right? To give you a tax cut, to lower the cost of groceries and health care, and to help you buy a home. That's how they'll build an opportunity economy, one where everyone has a chance to succeed. Now, I taught English for a long time, and I know that words matter. Any English teachers here? Nope, they're all at home correcting papers. So when we say everyone, we don't mean some of us. We don't even mean only those who vote for us. We mean all of us. We mean every single one of us, because everyone deserves to live with safety and dignity and opportunity and freedom. That's the promise of America. And that is what we are all fighting for, right? Yes, but it's going to be the fight of our lives, and we know it. You are ready. You are ready, and I know here in Georgia, because I see it. I know you're carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders. But I want you to know this, and that's the second reason I came today. The first was to thank you. The second is so that you know that Kamala and Doug and Tim and me too, we are right here with you. Yes, we are. Because we are all in this together. And that's the only way we win. It is together. Growing up, my mom, who's a retired teacher, used to say, Gwen, do the work that's in front of you. And growing up, I thought that meant the dishes. And maybe it did. But it also meant something broader and more profound, the work in front of me. Georgia, we have a lot of work right in front of us to bring this thing home. Starting with this Canvas launch. And I'm excited to grab a clipboard and pitch in too. So, will you come knock some doors with me? Yeah! Will you get your friends and families to go canvassing this weekend too? Yeah! Okay? And will you make sure everyone in your life has a plan to vote? Now, you know I was a teacher, I've already said that, and this election, well, it is the ultimate group project. Remember those group projects? And guess what? It's due in just 5 days. Right? And it is pass-fail. Right? Yeah. It is crunch time. We have come too far, and we have worked too hard to stop now. But you know what Tim says? I bet you've heard this. We'll sleep when we're dead. That's what he says. He says, Gwen, we'll sleep when we're dead. Now, I am more moderate, I have to tell you. I think we can take a nap, but maybe not till after the election, okay? Because a new way forward, it's right here. It's within our reach. It's within our grasp. If we fight for it. And we are going to have to fight for it harder than we have ever fought before. Yes, we are. So let's take our marching orders. That's okay. It's okay. Let's take our marching orders from the next President of the United States, Kamala Harris, right?